Hey guys, what's going on? D from Desert Tactical here. Today I'm going to show you how to install the Tactical Pontoon Peacemaker trigger shoe onto your PSA Micro Dagger factory trigger bar. Let's get to it. Alright, so as you know, if you buy a PSA Micro Dagger, it will ship with your standard curved hinge style trigger, which a lot of people are not a fan of, including myself, and they'll swap it out for something else. Well, Tactical Pontoon has a Peacemaker Micro Dagger tune-up kit available on his website. It includes the Peacemaker shoe, the striker spring, plunger spring, trigger return spring, and some badger snot lubricant. In this case, I just bought the shoe because I already have a striker spring and some badger snot. So let's go ahead and start with the install. All right, guys, here's my PSA Micro Dagger. This trigger right there, that is not the factory trigger. That is the Extreme Carry with the Boogeyman shoe by Tactical Pontoon. The factory trigger assembly is this one right here. And today we're gonna install the Peacemaker trigger shoe. All right, ladies and gents, the first thing you gotta do is remove your factory trigger assembly. Again, this is not a factory trigger. You do that by knocking out these two pins right there. Keep an eye out for that slide stop. Then lift up and pull out your locking block. Then your trigger assembly should slide right out and you should be left with this right there. All right, guys, for this tune-up, we're gonna be reusing the PSA Micro Dagger factory trigger assembly. We will only be replacing the trigger shoe, and if you buy the entire kit, you will also replace the trigger return spring right there. So first, we gotta knock out that trigger shoe. Let's get on that. All right, the first thing you gotta do is remove the trigger bar from the trigger housing by pulling out and up and taking it off the trigger return spring. And here it is, you guys. So we gotta knock out this pin right here. We gotta drive it out through this side from right to left to release the trigger bar from the trigger shoe. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so as I mentioned, we need to drive out this pin right there. And we don't need to drive it out all the way, just enough to clear and release the trigger bar. So I have a hole pre-drilled on my table right there for that purpose to work on triggers. So we're gonna lay that pin over that hole. This is a 5/64 roll punch. I'm gonna put it over the pin right there and give it some love taps. Let's see if that did it. Nope, a little bit more. And there it is. Here we have the trigger bar that we will reuse. All right, guys, here is the factory trigger shoe. Again, you do not have to drive out the pin all the way, just enough to clear the trigger bar. Here is the Tactical Pontoon Peacemaker shoe. I got it with the black shoe and the red safety right there. It's looking pretty nice. So something really cool about this shoe is that it does not have a pin. This is a set screw. So I already added a little bit of blue thread locker. It's not needed, but recommended. I just added just a tiny tad bit, not too much. Remember, a little goes a long way. So to install, it is super easy. All you gotta do is align that hole inside your trigger shoe. So insert like so, and then grab your provided Allen key right here and tighten down your set screw. Make sure it's lined up. Let's see here. There it is. Good enough. And there it is, you guys, installed. Now we got to drop this in the housing here. We got to drive it in like so and back in. And there it is, all set, ready to be dropped in the Micro Dagger frame. All right, so to install the trigger assembly onto your Micro Dagger frame, all you got to do is reverse the process when you took it out. And of course, very important, make sure you lube any contact points on your trigger right there and then slap it in. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, the tune-up is complete. I got the Peacemaker trigger shoe installed on my factory trigger bar using the factory trigger housing. It's looking pretty good. I really like that setup. Here is the Extreme Carry with the Boogeyman shoe, also from Tactical Pontoon. I just wanted to get the Peacemaker because I'm a big fan of that trigger system. I have it in other builds as well. So you always want to make sure that you get proper engagement. You want to try it out with and without snap caps. highly recommend that you check that before you go out to the range. I already did, and it's good to go. So let's go over the trigger pull. Weapon is clear. Here is the wall, clean break, super clean and crisp break, and the reset. As far as the weight here, here's my scale. It's zeroed out, and let's see where we're at. And it's giving me a 4.5 very crisp pound pull. All right, guys, wrapping it up on my install video of the tactical Pontoon Peacemaker trigger shoe on the factory PSA Micro Dagger trigger bar and trigger housing. Now, I'm pretty sure that this install also applies to the compact dagger and full size. So in case you got one of those, now you know how to do it in case you buy a tune-up kit. So let me know in the comment section below if you found this video useful, entertaining, and or informative, and catch you guys next time. Peace.